This particular project we're going to be doing is basically a wood stove chimney with a clean out door and a thimble going through the top. Mainly wood stoves, coal burners, the whole bit, and wood stoves. What we would like to do is first, very similar to just a plain brick pier, where you start out with your dry layout, you set your first brick, level that first brick, get it perfect, and then work yourself around the pier, like we demonstrated before. The key to this is right now is after a couple of courses, you're going to put a clean out door in. All right, most of the time it's to get the ashes out. This clean out door will open, and it'll give you a chance to get your ashes out or anything else that is in the chimney. So basically what will happen is you take it up 3 courses, you'll work your brick up to this, basically set this in to give you a guide of where to go. And see, then what will happen, this will open up, you'll be able to get all your ashes and everything out of your chimney. But first what you do is you make sure this fits, you give a mark here, and you get your mark here. Then next what you'll do is you'll come in and you'll lay these next 3 courses. And what we did was we took, since these are oversized brick, we took an oversized foot rule and tried to get it where we come over the angle of this clean out door. So we figured it out and it came out to 3 courses on a D or E, which is a very tight joint. So we're going to try getting that. So when we get up in here, the brick will be hidden. The clean out door will hide that side of the brick. All right, the last time we talked, we were down low and we were sizing ourselves up to get over the clean out door. So right there was 3 courses on an F for an oversized brick. That's what got us to this door. We took the center of our pier and made a mark, and we took the center of the clean out door in order to get this clean out door centered properly. If you have it on one side or the other, it just doesn't look right. So the key to it is making your marks, taking a mark off of here and a mark off of here, and making your cuts and building this up nice and plumb. And I'll show you why in a minute. Okay? Now, we got to put a little bit of mud down on the bottom in order to hide, in order to get a little more height, so the brick will work up to the top, like we will go into the next top. Now, what we will do is we will butter a little bit of this end of the brick. Nobody will see it, so it's not a problem. And you can see, I'm keeping an eye on my pier. These little piers are easy to move. So I'm going to take my time with it, and I'm going to smear it up. Now, when you do this, and it's ready for the clean out door, it's very easy. This is basic clean out door. This opens up and closes. It is very easy to flip this around and put it in. And then you'll have the door, and then you'll have to redo it. So concentrate before you set it to get it the right way. Now, what I will do is I will take it from the top, and I've already checked that this will fit. And I'm going to bring this down, and I'm taking it nice and flush with everything here. Okay? Now, what happens is this. In order to keep this here, a lot of times bricklayers will have even our 2-foot level. We'll set it like this to keep that door in there. Okay? Maybe put a brick here. Just enough to keep that door in place. Okay? Then what we'll do is a lot of times with the mud in, I'll make sure I'm lined up. I'll pack the back end of this, and I will show you this on the next time. And pack this in. Now, what you want to do is make sure that this is lined up with this. Because what's going to happen is now, this brick is going to go here, and going to cross over here, and be shown like that. When we come back, I'm going to show you a little bit of how we pack the back of this clean out door in order to set ourselves up for the next step. That last step, I set this clean out door. And now what we did is I packed it, I got my 2-foot level against it just for temporary bracing so it will stay. The next thing we'll do is I'll take the mud in here and you pack in between the clean out door and your brick jam. Okay? So I got this packed in, so when it sets up, this brick door, this clean out door is going to be one with the pier. Now what I might do with this little area is clean it out, give a little bit of a ledge for the clean out door. Alright, the last time we talked, we were way down below putting in the clean out door, and I showed you how to pack the back end of that clean out door to keep it in place. Well, you can see, once you start after the clean out door, you're in a brick pier going all the way up. Where you start at one end, you get your measurement, you level both ways, you plumb, and you work your way out. Each leg, all you're doing is level, plumb, and straight edge. You're just working your way around the corner. But you get to a point where you're almost at the roof, off the ceiling height or whatever. You have to be at least 18 inches down from the ceiling. So right now, it's time to set the thimble. And usually with a wood stove or heaters or whatever, you have a pipe coming out of there and feeding into this thimble and taking the smoke right up out of the chimney. So right now, we're just setting the thimble, and what we did is we gave it just a little bit of a pit, just like this, to help the smoke go right up the flue. All right? Then what we do is we got it about flush, and we're going to pack all the way in and around the flue. So to make it nice and tight. Now when you're putting it in, you want to put this flue as tight up and as thin as mortar as you can get up against this flue. So that's the problem. And then what you'll do is you'll pack all the way around this and making sure it's nice and tight. Now, once you get done packing this all up, the next thing you'll do is you'll work your plate just like you did at a regular pier. You're going to start at one end, level, plumb, and when you get to this spot, you're going to cut, making cuts, going right around this flue, right around this thimble, I'm sorry, and going around the rest of the flue till you top off at it. When we come back, we're going to have a couple of these cuts set, and we'll show you how it's working out and how you design it and lay yourself out. Alright, the last couple steps we've been doing, we hit the clean out door and showed you how to hit the heights of the clean out door. Then basically you're running this baby up just like a regular pier, setting that first brick, getting it perfect, checking the plumb, and having it right on. The next step is setting this thimble, and we did that already by setting the thimble a little bit of an angle so that smoke can go up and out of the flue. Then basically what we're doing is you're cutting around this almost like you're doing an arch. The first step you'll hit. A lot of times how we did it out in the field is we'll line up our brick like there's mortar. And then I'll look at the flue and make a mark on there and the top of the flue and make a score. Then basically what we'll do is we'll take this, mark this up the brick, get a sharper cut. I might check it again just to make sure that it's lined up right. Then we'll give this a saw cut and place it in. Once we're over the top of this thimble, then basically we're continuing this flue and this chimney up to the point that it's comfortable. If you're at a peak of a house, it's 3 feet over the peak. Or if you're on the side of it, you're going to run the basic line, is what we always say, is 2 foot over 10. When we come back, we're going to be over this thimble and we'll show you the rest. Alright, now we just left that stage going around this thimble and cutting the pieces around this thimble. So now we're over the top. You see it's good to go. Now, sometimes you don't have to get these cuts as perfect, because most of the time when you got a thimble coming in here, there's a collar going around this to hide it. So now the biggest and the biggest pain in the neck of this whole deal is pretty much done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up and pretend we're at the top of a chimney, and we're going to give a little bit of a rack, what we call racking it out a little bit, kind of dressing up the top of the chimney. We started a long time ago down here in a little example in the shop area on an appliance chimney. So we started with that clean out door, the dry layout, clean out door, worked our way into the thimble, cut around the thimble, tied it into the thimble or the flue in the middle of the chimney. And now what we did is a lot of times when you're on an outdoor chimney, you'll kind of finish off the top of it and give it a little look. And sometimes you'll do just like this. You'll put just a brick, first course of brick, and stick it out a ½ inch, which what we did is we took the foot rope, checked our measurement, brought them all out a ½ inch. The key to this is when you start something like this on all the chimneys and you're bringing them out, is you always want to start on this side, whole brick and whole brick, and you always start the opposite side, whole brick and whole brick. And if you're going to cut, you take it and kill the cut on this side and on this side. All right? And then what you do is the next time you reverse it and put the bond this way and that way, just like you do the normal running bonds. And once again, if you're going to start a chimney and you're going to rack this out a ½ inch on the top of the chimneys, you want to start on one side, whole brick and kill the cut into this corner. And on the other side, catty corner from me, you're going to put a whole brick and kill it into these two corners. When we come back next, I'm going to show you from the bottom to the top how it was approached and a little bit of a review. Now we got the final project, all right? Right from the bottom all the way to the top, just like you would see in an appliance chimney. What the first step is so important is that dry layout and making sure you're nice and square to this clean out door where we hit our heights to the top of this door so the brick can go right over it. We're the clean out door where we can take this out and get all the ashes or anything that's in this clean out door is all taken care of with this clean out door. Once that's established, you're basically running your courses up just like you would a regular brick pier. All right? All the way line up, making sure your plumb, a good indication that if you're running out of plumb is check your mortar joints and make sure they are the same thickness going up. If you see those mortar joints getting smaller, you know your plumb is coming in. If you see your mortar joints getting bigger, you know it's coming out of plumb. That's a great indication of how your pier is running. And then if you see that happening, you just got to adjust it accordingly. So once we get past this clean out door, you're just running a pier with all your plumb points checked, and every course you lay, it's level, plumb, straight edge. Every one you do. Up to top, we put a nice little cap on this, a little 2-course cap. Just brought out about a ½ inch, length of a side of a foot roll, and going all the way around and mashing it. The key to those caps, the key to the cap is you always start on at least this side. I'm sure the Italians aren't good for explaining this, but we'll go with it, all right? Whole brick on one side, whole brick on the other here, and whatever you do it on the opposite side, and on the opposite side, you do the same thing, a whole brick and a whole brick, all right? Then you cut to whatever makes it out to those sides. That's the key to this. At the top, the flue should be sticking out. Its normal is between 2 and 6 inches is what it should be sticking out at. So you can see that flue is at 6 inches, I can guarantee it. So that's the key to the whole thing at the top. So that's your appliance chimney that's used for oil burners, wood stoves, pellet stoves, anything that needs some gas, some dangerous gas to come into this thimble, which I'm glad I brought up because I forgot about this thimble. And after that pier, we made our marks and made our heights and just cut around the thimble, tying this into the flue. It's real easy that you got to seal up between the flue and the thimble. Okay? A lot of mention that. So anything else, it's just running it up, and if you have a wood stove, the pipe will feed into here, so all that carbon monoxide and smoke and everything can go up and out of the chimney. So that's the deal on an appliance chimney.